Good evening, gentlemen and ladies. Welcome to Crypto Pulse Weekly. As usual, I will be sharing my screen for those on Zoom, and then we can kick off full throttle. I need to cut this. All right. For whatever reason, Instagram is misleading. Good life.
Hello, Dr. Demi.
Great Whale of Wales.
I just want to show you something.
You have fish for me. Okay, sir.
What?
You have fish for me.
No, not fish. Before people start trooping in. Can you see can you see me?
Yes, I can see you.
Can't.
Finally.
Yes.
That's nice. That's nice.
Came today.
Wow.
Do not say I told you.
Benio.
That's good. Ètò ń sàn dáalẹ́ lórí tébù yín mò ń láṣà o.
I don't understand. I'm not able to go live on Instagram.
Àwọn àjẹ́ ni àwọn àjẹ́ Aso Rock. A máa fòkò fọ́ ojú wọn dànù sí.
How do you know what people are trying to get it? Yeah, there's another thing that happened over the week. I think what's their name? Zoom changed the way meeting settings are. So you can't just allow everybody into your meeting. You have to determine whether it's going to be a passworded meeting or you have to admit each person that's coming in.
Okay.
So for everyone that's joining, it will keep popping up that somebody wants to join. Which I found quite annoying because if you set a meeting and you want people to join anyway, I don't know why that's showing up. That's just
Let's hope they don't want to monetize it.
Well, I mean, it's already monetized. We pay for what's it called? We pay monthly subscription for. Okay. Oh, this is so. This is so ridiculous. Even Instagram too is. Okay. I don't know what the problem is. Fortunately, it means that. Safety camera. Yeah, all this shouldn't be. Just allow me to go live. Anyways, if you can't go live on Instagram, too bad. Yeah. It's not allowing me to. Okay. Let's hope we can get this sorted. Please give me a minute. I'm just trying to get this Instagram thing sorted because it saves me the stress of having to copy the video over.
Okay.
Anyways, if it doesn't start now, I'll just go ahead. So good evening, everyone. Hope you've had a nice week. Obviously, a very interesting crypto week from our own perspective. A lot of a lot of stories and a lot of action on the markets. Largely unfavorable, but it's par with the course with crypto market to see this kind of volatility, especially with the US election. The nature of what we have is not unexpected. So let's get started with our market review, Crypto Vital Signs, Crypto Drip, and Q&A. So let's dive straight into market review and updates of the markets. As you probably are aware, we've had a number of issues this week that has caused volatility. One of them is the BitMEX saga. So I'm going to talk about it later, but basically what happened was they got sued in the United States for offering crypto derivatives, which are derivatives products without licensing, so to speak. So they are suing them for violation of securities law in the United States. Even though they are a Seychelles-based company, but because they have this in the United States, like most companies that have business to do with the United States, you come under all sorts of crazy regulations. So because of that, they've been slammed with a lawsuit. And because BitMEX is actually one of the biggest in terms of derivatives markets for crypto. In fact, I dare say they're the biggest because they usually have the largest volume per time in the derivatives market, and imagine futures trading. So as a result of that, there's been a lot of drop in Bitcoin price, or let me not say drop, but volatility in Bitcoin price. And yeah, it's also affecting the recovery of altcoins since the beginning of of September. The other one is the regulations aspect, which is part of the worries of many, that many cryptocurrencies will not pass the test of regulation. But in this case, I would think, my initial assessment is that this looks like a case of an omission on the part of BitMEX. I don't think they will willfully go into the United States and start offering products if they knew or they were aware that they were going to get charged. So I think it's something that will eventually get sorted, or they'll find a way to settle themselves with the government. It might also be that the government just wants to chop them, so illegitimately. So they will find a way to sort themselves out eventually, I think. In other news for regulation, Venezuela has created a blockchain, an Ethereum-based stock exchange, with the hope that they can bypass US sanctions, essentially. So by putting themselves out there and putting their securities on the blockchain, they're hoping that they can sell securities directly to the world, cutting off the United States. I think it's a smart move. We'll see how that pans out. If the model works, I think many countries will quickly adopt that, especially embargo and sanction countries like Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Libya, Syria, and all that, all those countries. So they're trying to basically create an alternative economy for themselves. And frankly, I think it might be something that Nigeria should consider as well in the times to come. Then we still have risk aversion because, as you probably know, the US Grandmaster, Mr. Trump, has said he's COVID positive from today. So there's been a lot of reaction on the markets. It's been priced in as him not being able to continue or finish his term. I think he'll get by personally. Personal opinion, though, I think he'll get by it. I think I think he'll come out of it. Some people think it's a hoax as well, that maybe he's just trying to get people to pity him and evade going for another election. What's it called? The debate, but I don't think so. I think it's probably truly effective. I think he will get it right. I think there are a number of ways to sort out COVID that has not been discussed in mainstream media. And I think he has access to it. So I don't think it's going to be a significant risk eventually. So that's that about Bitcoin. We'll talk about Bitcoin more when we get to our crypto calls. In another news, Daimler, which is the parent company for Mercedes-Benz, has a subsidiary called Daimler, I think it's Daimler Mobility AG, yeah. They're partnering with Ontology to create a blockchain platform for cars, essentially. So right now, I can tell you, okay, because I drive a Benz, I can tell you that the Mercedes-Benz cars has like a platform similar to what you can call the iOS. And on that platform, you have a number of things from, being able to lock your car remotely to knowing the status of your car in terms of, engine, fuel range, next service, so many things that you could see on the dashboard, you can actually see through an app. So I think they're trying to migrate all of that to the blockchain, and they partner with Ontology. So Ontology is a provider of public customizable blockchains, and I think they partner with them to provide this service for Daimler customers. Probably in the next generation of smart Mercedes-Benz cars, we'll start seeing that come to be. It speaks of, significant adoption as well, because if you remember, I think that was last month or the month before, we talked about the European Union partnering with XRP, and I think the US government partnering with XRP as well to provide blockchain solutions in some areas. So even though government is standing aloof, as if all this cryptocurrency stuff we're talking about does not affect them, they're almost secretly behind curtains deploying solutions that allows them to use blockchain technology. Yeah, I was going to talk about blockchain technology, but then I remember that it's part of the things I plan to discuss tomorrow on our Crypto Wealth course. If you've not registered, you can still register. I'm giving 50%. In fact, I think I'm giving more than 50%. It's probably like 60% discounts for anybody who's interested. This is probably the only time I'm going to give that kind of discount for anybody who's interested to join. We're talking about blockchain technologies and other wealth creation strategies for 2021. But basically, many companies and governments are trying to leverage on the functionalities of the blockchain technology to operate applications and to scale up on technology. So what will happen is, instead of using basic internet web 2.0 for instance, web 2.0 based technologies, most people will try to use blockchain technologies for newer solutions and newer products, as we're beginning to see. So that's about Daimler and Ontology. Another one is Ripple. Ripple just got a patent with the United States government on smart contract design. So they're working on smart contract design for a number of customers. One of them is the oil sector and oil trading, where people are able to use smart contract to determine whether to enter into an oil project or not. So even though, like I said, that even though Ripple is not appreciating in price, but they're significantly getting into a lot of strategic partnership. And I remember somebody asking about Ripple. I said, well, I'm not investing. I did have some investment in Ripple, but it's probably one of my lowest performing assets. From a crypto perspective, I mean, since the beginning of the year, we've had assets that have done 300% this year. We've had those that have done 100%, 200%, and I mean, XRP is probably around 10 or 25 from the beginning of the year. So it's quite lethargic in price appreciation, and that's giving a lot of people concern. And considering the fact that is an old coin and it has huge market cap. I think probably problem is the supply, the circulating supply, the overall supply, and probably because one of the founders did sell off about 1 billion XRP earlier in the year, so that probably caused a lot of people to also dump the coin. But having said that, I think they have a lot of strategic partnership, but it's not reflecting on the asset price. And I think one of the founders said that, well, it doesn't control the market, but even though he says that, he still gets to have, significant shares of, the coins, the XRP crypto itself. So if the price is appreciating and you're selling off large volume, the price is just going to remain static. So I think that's what's happened with XRP, unfortunately. But I think they've got a lot of significant partnership going on, especially at the corporate level. So they have almost 20-something banks, financial institutions and governments partnering with them for different solutions. And probably because they are more corporate focused, it seems it would appear like they are anti-decentralization, which is what the crypto geeks would like to see in terms of, your own money and your own finance. But I guess it's one of those challenges that they're caught in between the rock and the hard place in terms of, dealing with governments and then dealing with new generation investors in cryptocurrencies. So that's for Ripple. I think one of the biggest news, apart from the BitMEX one, is this KuCoin hack. KuCoin hack, I think, happened on Sunday. It's probably the largest in recent time. Yeah, I think it's the largest in recent time of any cryptocurrency exchange. The hackers, I think, made away with about over 200 million. Some said 200 something, just 70 million in crypto tokens, majorly Bitcoin, Ethereum, and USDT. I think so far they've been able to recover about 130 million, basically by freezing some of the accounts from which, or some of the recipients' accounts which the hackers used. But the hackers have been able to also successfully offload about $70 million of the loot through the use of DeFi platforms like Uniswap, KNC, and the likes. So there is a lot of noise around that as well to say, it's because of DeFi that these hackers are able to get away, and ordinarily they will have been caught because they will not be able to cash out the bounty. But it's significant that more than half of that money is being recovered. So what's happening is many of the USDT, for instance, that was stolen have been frozen, so they can't take it out because the address were immediately blacklisted on the network. So they can't even publish, they can't send any of the stolen USD out. Same thing with coins like Unitrust token, I think KNC, about 2 or 3 others as well. I've successfully managed to fork FORK now for clarity, to fork their network so that they made useless the tokens that were stolen from them. And of course, because they have heavily backed insurance, I think they'll be fine on the long run. But it also speaks to some of the vulnerabilities that some of these exchanges have. It's just a pity because KuCoin is actually a very good exchange in terms of speed of execution and all of that. And they're quite large. They're doing billions in transactions. I think that's probably why they were able to hit them as well. Compared to Coinbase or Bittrex, those are really very fortified from a security standpoint. Those are very, very fortified exchanges. They've gone through SOC2 certification in terms of security. They're quite secure platform. But generally speaking, like I was telling someone, that I think it's still okay to have your money stolen on the exchange because you have it back. The exchange will pay you back, especially if you say reputable exchange like KuCoin and many other reputable exchanges like Crypto.com, Binance, Coinbase, Bittrex. Those are established exchanges with very huge insurance backings. So many of those ones will be able to pay you back. But if your money gets stolen from your ledger or your or your trust wallet, that's the end. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. So for me, yeah, your money, your passcode, your money, but you also need to talk about think about constitutional risks. It's just like the risk of you keeping raw gold in your house versus keeping it in a vault. If it's got stolen in a vault, the vault is usually insured. If they can't give you everything back, they'll give you a percentage back. If you get hacked by not hacked, if you get attacked by armed robbers or by thieves and they steal all the gold, I mean, they can't find it. They can't find it. The risk is 100% on you. So my advice usually to crypto investors is you need to balance your risk. Don't keep all your money on decentralized exchange or decentralized wallets, because if for whatever reason anybody gets access to your passcode, that's the end. The money is gone, and you can't hold anybody to it. Unlike the exchange, the exchange you have to say, this is my history, and the exchange you want to keep their good name, so they'll probably give you back the lost money. That's just my personal opinion in terms of risk management for your portfolio. I think you should balance it. You shouldn't have all your money sitting in your own offline wallets, because if it's stolen, it's gone. It's just like for people that are in Nigeria, if you're going to Oshodi market to buy something and you decide to strap your money on your body, that's 100% risk, as opposed to just carrying a card. If you carry a card, you know that if you get there, you can either cash it or use a card to pay. But if you carry the money on your body, I mean, you might not live to tell the story in the days of the real Oshodi. But I don't know what it is now. But that's just talking about risk, perspective to risk, and how risk affects your investment and how you should handle your portfolio if you're trying to balance your risk. So I think it should be 50-50. Then, try to spread it across as well, so that you don't keep all your money on one exchange. I've been exposed to that once. I think I'm not going to do it again. You shouldn't keep all your funds. You should try to spread it out, even if you're keeping it on just centralized exchanges. So that's that. In terms of the BitMax one, they've lost about, how much have they lost? Yeah, they lost about, I don't know. I don't know. I think I mistakenly deleted that slide. They lost about 37,000 Bitcoins in less than 24 hours when that stuff happened, because people panicked and thought that BitMax was going to crash. So people started withdrawing, like making a run on the bank if the bank is folding up. So people withdrew about 37,000 Bitcoins in less than 24 hours from them because of that litigation. I don't think it's a big deal, to be honest. Litigation is a litigation. You can be in court for the next 5 years. But of course, it's not good. It's not good for sentiment. So I guess that's why they've been severely punished by the markets. Mm-hmm. So and I think that BitMax story, in addition to the KuCoin one that happened earlier, and in fairness, the market didn't really respond like that to this KuCoin hack. There was no significant price drop. But then you now added BitMax, you now added Mr. Trump's COVID saga. I think the market just had to take some correction. But I think it's still all right. Generally speaking, we'll go into crypto science and I'll talk about what the perspectives and the outlooks are in the short term and the medium term. So in our usual manner, we'll talk about the market capitalization. I think the equities market has gained about $500 billion in the last 3 months, based on my research. So it used to be 35 trillion for a very long time, 25 trillion plus, but it's jumped now to 35.5 trillion plus. And you now have a Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency market dropping about almost 20 billion in market capitalization. Of course, due to the sell-off in the stock market and the crash we've had since the beginning of the month of September. Of course, that's also reflected in the altcoins, and Bitcoin dominance is still dropping. So 2 things to note here. One is that the market has dropped significantly. Nevertheless, though we've lost a lot of market capitalization from a general perspective, the price of Bitcoin has really not gone down. So it's been trading in slight ranges, and I'm going to explain that with the charts here, and I'm just going to explain what you're seeing on the chart. So like I say, the green candles are buy signal. I mean, evidence that the buying of that day exceeded the sales of the day. And the red ones are exceeding, means the opposite, means more was sold on that day that was bought. So if we look at Bitcoin here, Bitcoin had been in this range for how many days now? So this drop was beginning of, this drop that you're seeing here was beginning of the month. It's climbed up, then maintained above 10,000. Basically what I'm saying is, since it dropped at the beginning of September, after like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7 days of trying to break 9,000 price points, and it didn't break it. It's simply gone back up to stay below, I mean, above 10,000. It's tried to break it twice again. It's not succeeded. And even the current drop we've had is still the same thing. It's still sitting above 10,000. And I think it's important to note from a technical standpoint, this blue line is the longest time moving average. You see, the 200 days moving average for the price of Bitcoin. It's just a pity that I can't scroll back. I can't show you the live chat. I will have shown you the live chat that this is one of the major indicators of bullish or bear market. We've been in this bull markets since forever, and it's not broken it. Essentially, it stayed above the 200 moving average, and the 200 moving average now is staying above 10,000. And institutional investors are looking at this. So let me just explain what this means. Because Bitcoin is now being traded with derivatives and what you call futures, options, and the likes, this chart is interpolated into a lot of other indices. And those indices take into account very key technical points. One of those key technical points is the long-term moving average. So usually you have a short-term moving average, a medium-term moving average, and a long-term moving average. The purple line is the short-term moving average. I think it's 7 days. The medium time is 21 days. So what we've seen here is, even though it's been snaking around the medium and short-term moving average, it's firmly stayed above the long-term moving average. And that's what happened here. Even today that we've seen this crash. So this shot was taken as of 5 o'clock. This screenshot was taken as of 5 o'clock. And it's still showing that even though the market tried to drop to 10,000, it's quickly bought back up to this long-term moving average. So what this means is the new consensus is that the price of Bitcoin is not going to go lower than $10,000. You can quote me anywhere, but that's, I mean, it's my opinion, and I mean, a very technically sound, valid opinion. The long-term moving average is sitting below the price action or the price level, and the price level has not broken it successfully, not even in the last 2 years. So I think we're going to see Bitcoin at 10,000, and it's going to squeeze this range for a while. Some people say, yeah, it might drop to 9,000 or 9,005. If it ever does that, for whatever reason, what you're going to have is something like this red candle, where the price dips and goes all the way to like 10,002, then goes back up to 10,900 or 10,800. So you're probably just going to test it and go back. Why am I saying all this? It's important to note so that you know where we are in the market. And if you try to make an entry into the market, you know whether you're making a good entry or not. I think buying today will be a good entry. And I'll explain more in the slides to come why buying Bitcoin today or this weekend might be a very good idea. If you look at these lines are what you call Fibonacci lines. I don't want to go into too much details, but Fibonacci lines are like technical lines based on mathematical algorithms, and they help you to show price point pool. So at each line that you see, this is the short term, this is the long term. So I've just pulled back the long term to go back from the high we had at the end of August to the low we had in March. So you will see that the market is almost, respecting the line that came from this one that came from March, this 53 line that came from March. You can see it's almost matching with the 200 days moving average. So these lines will tell us where we expect to find price restriction in the near term. So if this long-term moving average holds, we'll expect the price to try to go back to 10,600 or thereabouts. If you can't break 10,600, it might still go down more. My guess is that we're going to break 10,600 and then we'll try to have a go at 11,000. Yeah, needless to say that the market is already pricing it in that Mr. Donald Trump might not be well enough to run the second term. But like I said, I think he has enough resources to be fine. So he may eventually get over it. By the way, his winning the election is good for the stock market because it means people can behave more recklessly and they can get more stimulus packages. In terms of the hourly charts, the hourly chart shows that there's about to be a correction from what we saw earlier on. So I told you that snapshot from the daily chart is basically at 5 o'clock. And this candle is a 5 o'clock candle. You can see that even though it's this currently down, it's taking a correction from 10,003 already on the hourly chart. So in a platform like Binance or even KuCoin, you have these indicators that point an arrow when there is likely to be price reversal. So the arrow automatically appear on the dashboard on the screen because it's calculating momentum and what you call oscillators. I can't talk too much about that as well. That will be part of the discussion tomorrow on the Crypto Wealth Masterclass. So the price already taking a reversal, as you can see, and as you can see currently is holding around 10,005. So what's all the garbage or lingo that I've been speaking? What it means is that the price is not going down. I don't think the price is going to hold. And the reason I'm saying that is no matter what's happening intraday, within the day, what we need to keep in mind is what's happening at the end of the day, at the end of each day, which is this chart that I showed earlier on, which is telling us that the market has not been able to successfully sit below this long-term moving average. This is a very good example. I think this was Friday. This was Monday, Sunday, Saturday. This was last Thursday when the price crossed and closed below 10,000. We could see that the next day the price shot up and went to close above 10,000 again. So I think there are a lot of heavy institutional investors waiting to buy at 10,000 and just below 10,000. So the price will always jump back up because of that. So that's about why I think Bitcoin, no matter how it dips, is going to come back. Our psychology stats, our psychology slide is basically to tell us that we're still here, as I usually say. We're still here. We moved from hope, I think, May. We moved from hope, which is here in May, and we're here now. You can see this is a steep rise. We've not been able to make this steep rise. Once the price of Bitcoin crosses over 14,000, then we can say we've crossed optimism and we are gradually getting close to belief. By the time we get to 18,000, we'll be in belief. By that time, everybody will be shouting about Bitcoins. It'll probably be too late to buy anything at a good price by then because every Tom, Dick, and Harry will want to have a piece of the action. So it's important for us to know where we are because, again, this is how you position to make the maximum profit. If you sell at a point of if you sell at a point of hope, you've not made money. Even at the point of optimism, you've not made money. The time to sell off is when there's euphoria and the price seems to be astronomically high. That's the time to sell off. If you wait longer than that, you might end up with capitulation, by which time it might be too late or it might be break even. But yeah, like I usually say, I like to bring this chart up every week just to tell us where we are in terms of the overall cycle. I like to see the helicopter view of anything I'm doing because that in turn helps to show you where you are in terms of tactics. So when you have a strategic overview, you're able to apply your tactics accordingly. So if you know that you are here, then there is no point trying to sell off because you know that you're still expecting a climb. And if you sell off here, then when people start getting in here, then you will be full of regrets. So like I tell people, 2020 was supposed to be setting us up for the bull run and giving us, some significant lifts. And I mean, in fairness, the market did have some significant lifts, especially from March till date. Some coins and tokens are still 200% above what they were in March. Some of them are 400%, 500% above the market capitalization and price in March, despite this dip. So it tells us that we've actually moved from, this point of hope to a significant point now where the market is getting ready for a leap. And I think November is a make or break. Is either the market crashes violently in November and dissociates itself from the stock market and starts going up, or it crashes with the stock market, then they try to make a correction in December or January. Whichever way, 2021 is going to be a very, 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 very interesting ride for cryptocurrencies. In terms of our fear and greed index, like I say, we are still at fear. We were at fear the week before, we were at fear the week before as well. Unlike the beginning of last month where we were at extreme greed, I mean, that was 83. This index, it's a funny index because it's just simple, just a dashboard. It's very simple, but it's also very powerful because if you just make buy and sell decision based on this index, you will make a lot of money. And I'm serious. I've had one of my friends back test this, and we actually tested it to see that you'll actually make a lot of money just on the back of this. And like I was saying, that this is one of the things I'm going to discuss today on Crypto Trip. But I'm going to discuss more tomorrow on the Crypto Wealth Masterclass on how to take position based on very simple indicators. This one doesn't require too much technicality. It's very basic. Be greedy when others are afraid, and be afraid when others are greedy. If you follow that rule, you make money easy all the time on the market. So and I mean, this publicly available information, it gets updated almost every hour, and it shows you where the markets are. So the market is afraid right now because people that are holding positions on the short term are looking to sell. I'll show you that on the next slide. So on the intraday sentiment, people are looking to sell. And even on the daily charts, people are looking to sell right now because they are afraid that, Mr. Trump may not be able to make it. And then the market is going to crash. And of course, if the stock market crashes, automatically, the crypto market is going to take a hit because now a lot of institutional money is sitting in crypto. But the good thing is, even if the crypto market does take a hit, automatically the people who have been waiting to buy cheap on the institutional side will rush into take the dip, and you see the market recover very quickly. But people are, they are very quick to sell now on the intraday, and many short-term traders are looking to sell off their Bitcoin longs. But frankly, I think it's a good time to buy. So that's about that on Bitcoin. I have just one crypto drip item to discuss today, and that's decoding market sentiments. Now, one of the things I showed you earlier on was market sentiment based on fear and greed. And as I said, as simple as it is in terms of determining where the market is or where the market is going, it's very powerful because it shows you what the market is thinking. I mean, this is a product of machine learning, AI, what's it called? Artificial intelligence and big data, all being spooled into big servers and interpreting data using data science from various technical platforms and social media platforms. I think that's what that fear and greed index does, and it's proven to be. It's shown. I mean, we've tested it. As I said, we've tested it and we've seen that it's actually very, very, very effective if you're looking to take positions on the market. If you just look at that dashboard and just buy based on fear and sell based on greed, you will be making profits. You can quote me anywhere. At least I know that works as of today. So how do you decode market sentiment? One of the things to decode market sentiment is to look at the market capitalization, the overall market capitalization of the crypto markets. You can easily get that from sites like CoinMarketCap.com or CoinGecko. Those are huge data aggregators for cryptocurrencies, and they generally tell you what the market capitalization is. Why is it important? Market capitalization is the total amount of money involved in any security or assets. So it tells you how much funds is invested in it. To put it in perspective, today we said market cap was around 340 billion, US dollars. That's less than the market capitalization of Apple. That's the whole cryptocurrency market capitalization. It's still less than that of Apple. Meanwhile, the market capitalization of the US equities market is 35 trillion. That's almost like 3,500x of what we have, or 1,500x of what we have in the crypto world. Why is this important? It's important because the amount of money you have in a market determines the level of trust and confidence in that market. Why the US stock market is one of the strongest, probably the strongest in the world, is because of the amount of funds in it. So when you start to see the market capitalization in cryptocurrencies rise, know that an explosion is coming. So we did see that rise shortly after the halving in May, when the market cap jumped to $400+ billion. And then we saw the dump towards the end of, I think that was, August, September, July, August, that the market capitalization was gradually thinning out. So that's one of the ways to decode sentiment. And I mean, you will see when we get to December or January, when the prices start to go up, you will notice that the market cap is also going up. As I mentioned, the other thing is sentiment, which is greed and fear. It's like clockwork. If everybody is afraid, you know it's a good time to buy. If there is too much greed and that indicator is showing green, you know that very soon there will be a drop in price. It's not magic. It's just it's just the way the market behaves. The other thing is to use oscillators. Oscillators are technical indicators that tell you whether a market is overbought or a market is oversold. I think, I have discussions on oscillators tomorrow as well on the cryptocurrency masterclass for 2021 profit strategies. To tell you how you can just open the charts, apply the oscillator, and you can see for yourself whether this market is overbought or oversold. If the market is oversold on the higher time frame and on the lower time frame, in fact, you know what the Holy Book says, that in the mouth of two or more witnesses, a word is confirmed. If the market is oversold on 3 time frames, let's say on the weekly, daily, and on the 4-hourly time frame, you know it's time to get out of the market, because it's a matter of time before the market drops back to correct itself, to get out of that position or to go into overbought. So it's these are 3 cardinal ways I think helps in decoding market sentiments. Like I said, if you're interested in joining us tomorrow at 1 p.m., DM me and I'll tell you how to make payment to register for the events. I think I'm done for today. If you have any questions on Zoom, pop me unmute your mic. If you have questions on Instagram, you can type it into the message box and I'll take it. Thank you. Okay, this is a very interesting session, no question. Means I've done a good job, but I've done a very bad job. Let's see. Just to confirm that we have no questions, I've omitted everyone. I've asked everyone to omit. So if you do have questions, please let me know before I close this session. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. I think that will be it for today. See you again next week by God's grace, and happy independence to our fellow compatriots in Nigeria, though it was yesterday.
Doctor, please, can you send the recording? I joined the meeting late, please.
No problem, ma'am. I'll send you the.
All right. All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Have a nice weekend, and God bless.